All right. I'm pooped. But we're back from right off ICSC, off the tailwinds, just hot off the plane. So
it's the perfect time to do this.
Next
week you would have forgotten half the stuff.
I know. I'm glad
you learned while you were out there.
I'm glad we're knocking it out now. So ICSC Las Vegas 2026 just wrapped up. It's kind of like the Super Bowl for commercial real estate, and is what I call it. On the retail and, commercial side. But, God, there were so many people there. There's over 25,000 people there.
25,000. Yeah, there were 22,000 pre-registered.
Yeah.
So I think we flew past that with on-sites. And now the convention center's updated.
Yeah.
Or at least, I guess, North and Central are. South will be next. But, yeah, it looked great out there.
But, you got, tons of, just a lot, we're going to kind of be breaking down all the things that people said, what they're looking at, I love the saying of if everything got done at ICSC that was discussed, land would be $200 a foot. But, man, we're getting better and better at it every year. I felt like this year was really good for us and how we did it. And then, we were so busy we didn't get to join you on the couple interviews you got to do live that'll be coming out with this too. So
no, those were special. So we did 2 interviews on the floor at the JLL booth. They were very kind to let us borrow their equipment. But we had Melinda Nettlebeck from Nando's and Tristan Halbert from Northland Property Group. Northland owns Moxie's and Chop Steakhouse, and so we had some great, on the floor interviews with those guys. Really looking forward to those coming out. That was fun.
Yeah.
Good people, good companies, and good clients, more importantly.
Yeah. They paid the bills.
They paid the bills.
Yeah. So
this was your second year out there?
Second Vegas ICSC.
Yeah. I remember your first one, you guys were kind of blown away. It was like, because you had done Texas ICSC first.
Yeah.
And then you went to Vegas. And I remember, I think we did this afterwards, and you're going, holy cow, that was next level.
Yeah. Now
this is your second. You kind of settled in a little bit. You knew the deal and what was going on. What was the main takeaway? Anything that was different from your first go round? What are you getting better at?
I think the biggest takeaway for me was getting there for Monday. I feel like Monday was more efficient than Tuesday.
Okay.
Maybe from a standpoint of us being a capital provider where developers are available on Monday versus Tuesday where they're trying to talk to the tenants.
Makes sense.
I felt we had really and a little. It feels like a little of the pressure's off to hurry up and get through the meeting to get to the next.
Totally. Makes sense.
I think what we learned is we need to stay at the Wynn next time and just set up camp and just have it all cycle. Because that's kind of what we ended up doing, just, but like playing it out that way. It just kind of fell into that way, but that's what I think we're going to plan out.
I got to see you Monday. You guys were posted up in the sports book.
Yeah.
That was a strong move.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. You had a nice table in the corner and folks rotating in and out.
Yeah.
That was well done.
Well, we originally started at Terrace Point, the restaurant, right down the hall, just because Jeremy and I were like, we need to eat. And so we got in super late, super early, 3 a.m. So by 10, we were already in the restaurant and just accidentally, we had some stuff lined up, but we just had people whipping through the restaurant.
We had 3 meetings while we ate breakfast. Like guys sat down, guys got up, guys sat down, we were just eating breakfast.
We were just sitting there,
You just had a duffel bag of cash sitting next to you. You were just handing out money.
Here's a $100 bill, sir. Okay. I'm going to lend it to you, then I'm going to get it back when you sell it or refinance me out. But, and then, we moved to the sportsbook where you saw us. It was basically like 2-3 hour stretches of just like, okay, we're not moving. And I think we would run that playbook again.
Yeah, that was great.
And Tuesday, I feel like we would go back to the show, but I feel like you can probably do everything in the lobby.
You could.
For us.
Well, no, for us. Right.
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, I don't need to be at the booth per se.
Right.
But, I mean, I maybe we still
But it's nice, too. We did meet with some developers that had booths that we sat down with. And
I think that's a great point. We talk about 25,000 being the number. There's got to be 20% that aren't even going to the show, that are there to network or to, source deals, what have you, that are like, yeah, I'm not even attending ICSC. We're just in town.
Yeah.
I walked by, but I didn't check it out. But did you check out any of the prop tech side of things?
They have never done that before at that scale. So if you had a prop tech company, you could have a booth, or you could kind of walk the halls type deal. But they had a whole section, and this was new this year, a whole section of prop tech small booths. So it was probably 10,000 square feet of like kiosk booths. So no chairs, nothing like that. And you could tell you had your engineer and your salesperson with a video board, and they're walking through the prop tech features. And so I walked by there. I didn't spend any time in it, but I think in theory it made sense what they were trying to accomplish, because that's such a growing force in our business. And I think to have all of those in one section, I'm sure you had the head of operations for JLL or CB or Cushman at some point. Hopefully they walk through there, and we're trying to see brands and emerging technologies that maybe they're not aware of.
Eventually, I think probably in 5 years, there'll just be one kiosk in there. Claude.
It's just Claude.
It's just Claude.
Yeah, it's just Anthropic.
Anthropic wasn't even there, I doubt. But yeah,
they're like, we don't need to market this. We'll just take you over.
Amazon Web Services doesn't show up because they're all built on top of them.
That's right. Yeah, Oracle is not there. That's an interesting point. So many of those prop tech companies were trying to fill a need for the last 4 years, right? And historically, this real estate has always been slow to adapt to technology.
Yeah,
and I think you guys know I've been on the AI kick for quite a while. I feel like it's as significant as the internet to our business.
Yeah,
email, right? Like, you think how often we used to fax things, and it was the phone calls and this and that, and then when email came in, it just sped everything up. And I think it's that significant in our business.
Yeah.
And for Claude has done everything exponentially faster. The adoption rate is still very low in our business.
Yeah.
However, the last 6 months, Anthropic has changed the game. And then you wonder, you can now manipulate Claude to create the dashboard that you want, or the tracking mechanism that you want. Well, that used to be a prop tech company.
Yeah.
Right. That you had to buy into. Now you're just creating your own interface that you're utilizing. And so it will be interesting to see how, I'm sure a lot of those companies are much better at very specific use cases. Mm-hmm. But now if I can create my own dashboard and do all of those things, and I'm doing, I can even create my own maps now and the whole thing. How many of those really survive long term?
What was I going to say? Damn it. I totally forgot. I don't know. The document side of things too is pretty critical. I was using it yesterday, comparing 2 McDonald's leases, each lease from a separate sponsor.
Okay.
And it was interesting, the holes that I could tell one sponsor did a better job negotiating his lease than the other.
Gotcha.
And but like the speed to be able to do that is versus having to really, I used to print the damn thing up and just start
side by side.
Yeah. You can do, you can poke out the main holes real quickly. The other thing I noticed. Okay, so I remember what I was going to talk about. Did you see the interview from Elon Musk the other day when they're like, "What's it going to look like in 2031?" Which we're 5 years away. He's like, "Oh, there'll be like 1 million robots."
Yeah.
Like already, I'm like, oh God. And then did you see all the autonomous cars running around Vegas? Those little boxes, those little lunch boxes running around?
Those are the Amazon ones.
Those are the Amazon? Yeah. I was riding on the way to the airport with the cab, and he goes, "You seen those?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "I think I got 2 years tops."
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be interesting on what happens to labor based on the human element here. You're going to whack so many people.
Right.
I just told my kids, I said, you better learn how to sell. That's the one thing it can't do is sell.
Yeah.
So,
well, that Elon's interview, he also talks about, he's like, people are stocking away money to retire in 10 and 20 years. He's like, you won't need it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know about that, Elon.
I
understand the messaging, but that's easy to say when you're the richest man in the world.
That might be the end, right? You're just, when we're all on credits, one world currency, the Antichrist, it's all over. So.
Whoa.
Sorry. I digress.
Whoa. I think also that, but just getting on the Claude a little bit more, like to what Jeremy said, we're able to do our diligence faster because of it.
Oh, without a doubt.
Somebody sent us a data set on just revenues from a thing they're looking at doing, and we're able to just plug it all in and just say, hey, I want to build a table. Here's what I'm looking for, and then you grab one of the pieces of information that you're plugging in, and you're like, hey, just what I have found is if you let it have a mind of its own to make conclusions, you're probably not going to get a good result.
Sure.
But if you're like very direct about like, hey, I want this cell or whatever this is labeled at, here's like synthesize it based off of these labels.
Right.
You get a very excellent result.
Yeah.
So,
well, and it learns from you, right? So what we'll do is if we're marking up an LOI, we've got our original LOI and then we've got the red line. I ask Claude to do a comparison of those two, give me an output, tell me the changes the landlord made, and then Claude's recommended changes. Well, then what I do to tie a bow on that is upload the final LOI that I actually make those changes, and then go, hey, Claude, reference these in the future, and it will adapt and get stronger. So after you get that output, whatever your final output is that you actually are reviewing, give that back to Claude and say, hey, make that a project. Use this going forward, and it will learn and get better because it's looking at what your final output is, and that's what it'll start to structure in the future.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing I do like about ICSC is he and I actually get kind of time to like in between stuff to like think about our business, you know, versus some time away to a degree of not being in the business. And, you know, I was telling him, I was like, man, I'm just trying to think of like, if we hired anybody else for anything right now, I think the first hire, I would take a speculative bet on hiring a full-time person to just be working in Claude on every aspect of our business.
I had coffee with a young kid in the business, and he wants to be a retail broker. And what do I do to get better? I said, do nothing besides Claude, Manus. You need to be the AI guy because every old guy at your company knows they need to start using this as a resource, but is totally overwhelmed about where to start and how to get going. Now, I think we all know you just got to jump in, and it's amazing how quick you can figure it out. But regardless, that is the current barrier to entry, is these old timers in the business that are just like, I know this could make my life easier, but I'm making a lot of money. I don't have time to deal with that. Yeah. I'm like, if you're the young guy in the office that is a wizard at that, you're going to provide immediate value to those around you, and you'll be amazed at how many deals you get brought in on and accounts and everything else, because you're going to make brokers' lives easier. Yeah. And so I think that's to your point, hire that guy or girl that's what they do, that's what they know.
No, that's I would totally spend some money on that right now. Yeah. I mean, now that I even say it more, is just like I need to put an ad out, like, because that would be, you know, I mean, just come in and optimize every single aspect of our company. And that would also play into some of the M&A stuff that we're doing on advisory work, where you can come in and be like, hey, here's your AI playbook. We're going to install this and get you ready to go to market. So.
Right. Yeah, no, agreed. And then I think, so as an example of that, we've got a couple other early adopters at JLL. Not only are we doing, you know, case studies, there's, 200 of us around the country that have gotten approved for Claude on our work laptops, which thank goodness, we're doing some of that. And so those of us on Claude are meeting once a month, but then we also have a subsection of that group that, you know, once a month, it's just kind of best case studies. Hey, what are you working on? What are you working on? What decks have you done? What dashboards have you created? Because, you know, you can easily share those prompts, and now we're all, you know, we have advanced quickly in our adaptation of it by leaning on each other. Yeah. And so that person that you hire, you should have, you know, 8 o'clock every morning, I want you in my office for 30 minutes. Yeah. And what have you learned that I don't know? Yeah. And how do you make me better?
Yeah. No, for sure. So, all right. Well, how's the market? What's the sentiment?
Man, I tell you, it was very, very active on the floor. I thought, first of all, I think we're very blessed to be in Dallas, as we all know. Talking to folks throughout the country, it feels like Dallas for sure leads the nation in new developments coming out of the ground, projects. The amount of meetings that we had about, Shivers Farm in Southlake and, new developments in Anna and Salina, those things are not happening elsewhere to the level they are here. So I think we're very fortunate to have the pipeline of new opportunities that are not just on paper; they're coming out of the ground.
Yeah,
I think that goes a long way because the demand is there. Folks are either in Dallas and want to expand more, or looking to come into the market and looking for places to open up. And so, I think we're very fortunate that we actually have the pipeline of new construction. I think we're starting to see some of the, tired concepts are starting to shake loose. So we are seeing some availability of existing space open up. And, that was evident on the floor with as you guys know, I'm at the JLL booth most of the day. Mm-hmm. We've got meetings every 30 minutes. I try to space them out a little bit more this year to give us some more time. But, we had, Chewy Vet Care is a client of ours. We've got 5 deals in process right now, 4 LOIs outstanding. We met with all of those landlords, advanced those conversations, worked through some, fine tuning on the green space for the pets and those kind of things outside. And so made a lot of headway on deal specific stuff, introduced a couple new concepts to the market. Wagamama is one of them. We're looking to place those guys up in Prosper, looking in Frisco, Southlake, Las Colinas, some other markets. And so being able to put the client in front of the landlords and deal makers, there's a ton of value in that and creating a relationship there. Same thing with Zach at T-Mobile. We had some conversations about deals we're trying to progress, and then also introducing, new opportunities to the retailers. It goes a long way to have that developer sitting at the table, explaining his vision and showing the renderings and all of those things. And I can't tell you how many times they're like, we just got this site plan 2 days ago. It's like deadline spur action, right? Well, knowing you're about to be in front of thousands of people next week, it's amazing how quick those renderings can finally come in and those updated site plans can get worked through. And you've got names on plans that you hadn't seen before and that kind of thing. So it was overall, I think, great activity. We had some numbers that came out, being a little more specific. So Q1 retail real estate sales was $19 billion. The strongest quarter in 10 years, according to Newmark's publication. JLL is showing $15 billion in retail transactions in Q1 alone, highest in 3 years. Average asking rates are up 2.4% year over year to just under $25 a foot. Third consecutive quarter of growth, according to CB. Institutional investors, 20% of multi-tenant retail sales, highest share in nearly a decade. And new supply, only 4.7 million square feet delivered in Q1. That's the lowest in 10 years. Obviously, tight market. What happens? The rent goes up. And again, I think goes back to being in Dallas. There's probably, of that 4.7 million square feet, probably 1.5 million of that, was in Dallas. It's amazing. And so, suburban retail outperforming the downtown corridors. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody, especially here.
Downtown's dead.
Downtown's dead. But, more than anything, it's the growth is in Salina, the fastest growing city in the country. Yeah. Princeton was number 1 last year. It slid down to, I think, number 3 or 4.
We bought a building in Princeton.
Hey, no, I think
they're still top 5.
Yeah.
Still top 5.
Yeah. We had, Anna and Melissa were on that list, all in the top 5. How it's amazing to think that all of that is happening in our backyard.
Backyard, yeah, it's right there.
Our backyard.
Yeah, your backyard. Excuse me, I'm in Phil.
Yeah, you're already developed out.
Yeah, we're in a core.
Yeah, you can go to Highland Park Village. Funny enough, we just saw Ray Washburn just walking around Florida.
Dude, I was kind of starstruck. I was like kind of fangirling a little bit, but it's like he's just like walking around.
Yeah.
In a Peter Millar pullover,
sure,
khakis, sneakers, and like
The only difference, he flew the private jet there, went to the show, and then flew the private jet home.
Yes. Sure. But like one
that he owned,
that he owned, yeah. Probably just with him on it. Like no security detail, and like nobody was going up to him like, "Hey," he was just like meandering.
Yeah. He spoke at. I went to Automatic here in Dallas a few weeks ago, and it is. You don't even want to compare it to ICSC because it's totally different, but it's a scaled down kind of 2-evening event, 1 full day, and it's speakers for the most part. So, at 10 o'clock, you've got Ray Washburn is on a panel with 3 other people talking about, development and investment and what they're doing. And it's, his investment profile is pretty unique, and, his ability to wait is what most folks can't do, right? He's parking money, and he's not looking for a return for quite a few years.
Yeah.
But you see what he did with Highland Park Village and what he's done with up in Kansas City with that plaza up there and Waters Creek, all of those things. It's his outlook is so much further than most investors.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
couple themes from
and he's rich.
he's done all right.
Yeah.
Couple themes on the floor. The experiential retail continues to grow. Excuse me. 16.5 million square feet of experiential location-based entertainment concepts in the pipeline. Another thing was kind of the deal size. This was a little different. Average retail lease size dipped below 3,500 square feet for the first time ever.
Wow. And
obviously, there's a big correlation between size and rents. And so if your rents are going up, you're trying to get more efficient. And so the days of, hey, I need 15,000 square feet. I met with a landlord that had a 14,000 square foot box, and he's like, what do I do with it? I said, well, you don't have any park. It was built for retail. It was an Old Navy. And it's like, well, you can't park it for a gym or, anything like that. It needs to be a retail concept. And there's not too many 15,000 square foot groups right now that are expanding.
right.
And so how do you get creative to lease that? So I think that, and then, those that are out there looking for new space, maybe it was 5,000 square feet in the past, you're squeezing that down to 3,500 because your rents have gone from, $30 a foot to $40 a foot and are now inching higher. And triple nets have gone from, when we first started doing deals in Dallas, they were $350 a foot.
Yeah.
And then they went to $550 and then $750. And now, we look at some deals, the higher end mixed use stuff that's $15 a foot or plus triple nets. We used to do rents at $15 a foot.
Yeah.
My old Blockbuster days.
That's right. Same thing with me in industrial. At least them for OpEx gross. Hey, let me ask you, this is something I've heard lately in the food industry, so I didn't know if maybe any of the food retailers might have mentioned this, but food sales are declining because of GLP-1s.
Without a doubt.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Like materially?
Materially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grocery sales are declining
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
People, if you don't eat.
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
This is blowing my mind right now.
Yeah.
I was about to pause because I was gonna I need to use the restroom, but I'm gonna I'm locked in.
yeah. No, it's significant. And, it's 2 women go on, a hangout night, right? Ladies' night, they go to have dinner. Used to be they'd order 2 entrees. Now they would order 1 and split.
Yeah.
Because they know there's no way they're going to finish that portion size.
That's right.
And it's
And they actually,
significant.
they drink a little less too.
The alcohol sales have plummeted.
Yeah.
First of all, I think it's now trendier. It's becoming trendy to be dry. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm not drinking. And you now see an emergence of alternatives, whether it's the THC canned beverages or, the bottles that you can make cocktails with.
Willie Nelson's.
Yeah, that's right. So alternatives to alcohol have now increased dramatically on accessibility to that. And I just think, I saw 6 or 8 guys that were drinking Heineken Zeros or just not drinking, club soda and lime.
Yeah.
And that was not something that happened at ICSC very much before.
Right.
Yeah.
It was the opposite of that.
Yeah.
And so I think both of those are significant pressures on the restaurant business.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
No, it's I was talking with a pretty large food manufacturer and we were talking through what consolidation in the manufacturing end is going to look like because of GLP-1s. And then I think, is there like a patent that's going to get like lifted at some point, and then the market's going to blow wide open? I don't know.
Generics. Oh yeah, that's the thing. They have a lock on the patent on the formula,
right?
And they're like, I think 5, 7, and 10 years. And then I learned this because of just the whole Sackler family. So if you've kind of dived, it's really sick, and so I'll just inefficiently and probably incorrectly explain it, but like basically when they get close to the ending of a medical patent, they do a slight modification of it, resubmit the application. It's like, when you redo your brand or like you knock somebody's stuff off and you're like, oh, it's just enough different that I can take it. They change it just enough so they extend the lifetime out.
Right.
Because, there's billions of dollars in investments, and so they just want to keep that gravy train going. But like, I'm sure if GLP-1s go into the generic market, dog, everybody's doing this.
And then robots, man, ain't nobody gonna be eating shit.
Walmart, changed their sales projections based on the GLP-1s.
Yeah,
like that's how significant this is.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, something to consider.
Whoa, well, it's wild that because like GLP-1s got introduced 18 months ago, like heavily.
Yeah,
like they're already having that. Oh, I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Well, dude, imagine. Dude, losing weight is probably it's the hardest thing to do.
Oh yeah, no,
everybody loves the concept of it.
Yeah, the discipline that it required to do it is
pasta, baby.
So if you can just take a shot,
right.
Yeah, there's a guy I met. This was probably 4 or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. He was a broker, and he was a bigger guy, and he lost a ton of weight, and he brought it up. And I was just like, wait, what? There's medicine instead of getting the geriatric surgery.
Gastro bypass.
Not geriatric, but yeah, whatever it was, but like crazy. Whoa.
Yeah. What did you get? What was kind of the takeaways from the floor? I know you guys had a great start to it, being at the Wynn. By the way, I've stayed at both of those. I stayed at the Wynn this year. I'm going back to Encore.
Okay.
It's easier to get in and out with your car, to head to the conference and everything else. So Encore is the play going forward. Both are amazing. But if you get
they're like connected anyway. So
right, but it's a hike. Yeah. Everything in Vegas is connected.
Dude,
and you walk 32 minutes to get somewhere.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
But tell me about the show, the floor on Tuesday, and did you guys go on Wednesday at all?
No.
Okay, all right. So Tuesday on the floor,
we kind of did a half day.
Yeah, we kind of just did a half day. We kind of like hitting we hit a lot of our meetings scheduled for Tuesday on Monday because they were just like around, and it was like so.
And then the guys we had in the afternoon, we kept on bumping into them on the floor. And so we were like, hey, let's just grab like 15 minutes now, 20 minutes now.
Yeah.
And so everything just got like pushed up. But I don't know. It just felt like people are doing deals.
Yeah. I didn't really hear any doom and gloom sentiment on anything.
I do think like the basis though on development is high. The rents are high.
Sure.
I think everyone is kind of, from what we can tell, is kind of not over the sticker shock, but it's become the new norm.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, it just is what it is.
Yeah. If you want to grow, these are the terms you got to play by.
Yeah. And I think the thing that is sitting on the capital side, we would like the spreads to expand some.
Yeah.
Because I don't genuinely think that the absorption and the risk that is truly out there is still really understood on one, will this trade? Will it trade on time? Will it trade at what we thought?
Right.
And then also just, we're really big on credit. And I think like the things that we've seen recently where we end up like two things. One, inexperienced developers.
Yeah.
There's cancer there. I don't think they truly understand the risk.
Right.
And then two, the lack of credit in an opportunity. like becomes very apparent pretty quickly.
Right.
So, but I mean, we're still really bullish.
I do think something that kind of came away from us in there is guys that are breaking out on their own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from a capital allocator standpoint, man, tighten your shit up.
Yeah.
Like when you come to us and ask us for money,
Mm-hmm.
like we're looking at you to be the expert.
Right.
And man, we kind of worked through some newer developer stuff, and like it was like, man, get some big misses here, bro.
3. No, we're not honing in on one. There's like 3 different groups, 3 different profile
there's
types.
multiple ones, and like
Really?
you know, one profile group, you know, you would think they were a seasoned they look like a seasoned operator, but I mean,
Sure.
like we start digging in the deal, the more I mean, just
We're
like
20 minutes
basic
in.
stuff. Like I'm like, hey, where's this? Oh, we don't have that. I'm like,
Yeah.
That's a problem.
ooh,
So I think it's really easy to get drunk on the logos. I mean, we have,
Yeah.
right? Because there's a
Right.
ton of logo expansion right now,
Okay.
right?
but the logos can also bite you, dude, because they know they have the power, and if you don't negotiate the right lease,
Right.
you know,
yeah.
they're gonna hang you. They don't care
Yeah.
about your exit, you know.
All they care about is new store opens and sales.
Yeah,
Right.
If you move the
100%.
real estate, like don't care. That's a byproduct of whatever we're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Just get us in.
Makes sense.
And so, but it's very bullish. What I noticed is like, you know, we had coffee wars probably 12 months ago to
Sure.
2-3 years ago. I feel like it's moved to chicken wars.
That's fair.
Like,
Yeah, that's true. I did not hear a lot of coffee deals.
Yeah.
It seems like they've
Yeah.
rolled out all the coffee and you can have.
like Seven Brews was very, very much so everywhere in my opinion. Like I
Right.
feel like every group. And then after the show, Jeremy left. We had some flight issues. But like yesterday, I was in the Vegas MSA, and like Seven Brews rollout there seems to be pretty intense.
Right.
So, but like outside of that, no. But like I feel like everybody is doing like fried chicken. Like that's like the thing right now. Everybody is like chicken.
Chicken.
And obviously we're partial to our friends at Raising Cane's,
Sure.
but like chicken's a big thing.
It's huge. You know, Chick-fil-A obviously leads that charge, but you know, then you start working down the list and you've got Lane's and Zaxby's and Popeyes and Bojangles and
There's tons of them.
tons of them. And it's the boneless, you know, fried chicken expansion is still absolutely on fire right now.
Yeah. One developer I was talking to, he's like, how many chickens get slaughtered in this country every day for this?
In the name of fried chicken.
Yeah. And but like I've never been to a Bojangles before, but I saw it at least one, maybe 2 yesterday just driving in Las Vegas, brand new, like just right out of the ground.
Right.
And you know, that's a brand frankly I thought was dead.
Yeah. Well, I think what happened with Popeyes with the spicy chicken sandwich changed a lot of those kind of dormant brands, Bojangles included.
Yeah.
It feels like Bojangles kind of had an insurgence
Yeah.
after that. And I don't know. Who knows what that looks like in 5 or 10 years. But going back to our interview with Jeremy Hudson, I didn't realize they get 2 tenderloins off of 1 chicken.
Yeah.
So your point of how many chickens are being
Well, like that got brought up
Yeah.
because I brought that information. I was like,
nobody else is doing that. They're taking the breast and they're slicing it and breading it and frying it. You know, Cane's is getting 2 pieces off 1 bird.
yeah, and each I didn't realize because like the guy I was
crazy.
talking to, he was a hunter. He's a hunter. In his free time, he's like 2 tenderloins, 1 bird. So he's like, you get 4. They killed 2 birds. What do they do with the rest? And then 2, he's like, how big are the damn tenderloins?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I think they're like 2 or 3 ounces max.
Right.
So there's a lot of birds dying.
That's a lot of birds.
But
So do they have their own chicken farms at some point? At some point, I think. I mean, that's what McDonald's does, right? They have like their own potato farms.
So Jeremy mentioned it on that podcast.
Yeah.
By the way, if listeners haven't heard that, go back and check that out. I
Yeah.
think that was one of our best interviews we've done. Jeremy was great. So
Sounds like all the best ones are the ones I'm not on.
Jeremy was fantastic. So go back and check that out if you haven't heard it. But you know, we asked that question, hey, do you want to control the entire pipeline? And he said, absolutely not. Because to your point, Will, they're only utilizing 8% of the bird,
yeah,
right? They just want the tenderloins,
Yeah.
and then everything else gets sold to whomever else is consuming the rest of that bird. and you know this, the bird goes to 6 different companies. It's like you got the breasts go to this group, and you got the thighs that go to this group, and then ultimately, when all the stuff that's left at the end gets ground up into dog food, so one bird gets distributed amongst 5 different companies, if you will. It's all controlled by Tyson or whomever it is.
Yeah.
But that product is being shipped to, 5 different outputs.
It's crazy.
And so
You gotta
Canes
go
is like,
PP, Will?
Yeah, no, keep going. Lots of wealth of information.
so he's like, we we don't want to manage that because
Yeah.
we only need 8% of the
Yeah, it
bird
makes
output.
sense. Why get into some
Yeah.
other whole business?
Totally. Now we've
Things
got to
out the
sell to
door.
our competitors, and we've got to do this and that. So
Yeah.
they don't want to control the pipeline. They're good just buying from their preferred vendors, fresh, never frozen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's their MO, and they are very specific on the quality that's coming in. And so I'm sure it's a very select and direct, path to those tenderloins.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. So, what else?
Well, I think overall, I mean, for me, a takeaway as we enter, as we continue through this year, I think just real estate a position of strength. It feels like, tight supply, rising rents, and institutional capital is returning, which is going to help fund some of these projects that are coming out of the ground.
So, touch on that because we're pretty new to the
Yeah.
world. Like, the institutional capital kind of take a break on this stuff for a while.
It did. You read the headlines, retail is dying. We've been
Yeah.
talking about, I've been in the business for 25 years. We've been talking about the death of retail for 20 of those years.
It's like oil. We're gonna run out of oil.
Somehow they
Find more.
just keep finding it. That's right. It's the same. And so I think there was certainly a point of time where consumer spending, it felt like was going to fall off a cliff. And
Yeah.
that just hasn't happened. I mean, look, as Americans, we are consumers.
Yeah,
We
100%.
consume everything. We love, retail spending. We love restaurant spending. Like, we are the country of consumers.
Yeah.
And so there's no doubt that keeps the world going around is our spending. And so I think there was a belief potentially that consumer spending was going to kind of fall off of a cliff. Well, that hasn't happened. There was a small slowdown as maybe there was some job loss not long ago, and some a lot of the PPP money and those things, all of that had dried up, and it was like, well, what is this going to look like? Well, consumer spending continues, and so the way office kind of became toxic for a while, it felt like retail was kind of that way. And you're thinking, as an institutional capital guy, hey, wait a second, are we overexposed here? What if this really does slow down and we're invested in these, multi-million, hundreds of millions of dollars projects? What do we do to unwind that?
Yeah.
And so it felt like some of those groups slowed down. That has, not done a 180, but it's getting close. I think people realize that retail is just going to continue to grow and expand. The money is there. Consumer spending is going to keep happening. No matter what happens in the economy, people are still going to go out to eat, even if they downgrade their experience.
Yeah.
Right? We've touched on that on the past. Maybe instead of going to Bob's Steak and Shop on, Friday for date night, you go to Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. You're still going out on date night.
Mm-hmm.
You still want to go out with your wife. You still want to take your kids out for lunch. And, maybe it doesn't matter what the concepts are, but maybe instead of a $20 lunch, you're trying to find value in a $10 lunch.
Yeah.
But you're still going out, and that's part of your life experience. And it will continue to be that way. And so, anyways, to put a bow on that, I think ultimately the people are realizing that this is going to continue to happen. Markets are growing. We talked about Salina and Princeton earlier. Use those as examples. Folks are moving there. The houses are out of the ground. The neighborhoods are expanding. They want to eat and shop where they live. And, up until 3 years ago, Salina was all local retail. You had your downtown square, and you had a few things on a Brookshire's on Preston Road and those kind of things. Well, now you've got a Costco under construction, Home Depot under construction, Lowe's open, all of those things. It's, hey, we want this in our backyard. I don't want to drive 25 minutes to go to the nearest one of those things. And so I think it's, as long as that folks keep moving to the market, those areas are going to continue to expand residentially. and you want to eat and shop around where you live. And so HEB is going to continue to expand. You know, Walmart is on a warpath. They just opened in Salina. Went and walked through that last week. It's a beautiful. It's a Walmart, but they did a fantastic job. You can tell they're trying to elevate their customer experience.
Sure.
It was opening week, so they were fully staffed, friendliest staff. They probably fly folks in from all over the country. Like, you could tell. I mean, these guys were all over you. Hey, can I help you? Are you looking for anything? They had every line was open, and they were sitting at the end of the aisle waiting for you to come in to check out. But they had a whole aisle just dedicated to Salina Bobcats.
Yeah,
that's a little different, right? So they've got blankets and Yeti cups and the whole thing branded to Salina Bobcats. So how do you make yourself part of the community? Well, that's a great way to do it, especially there where there's only one team.
Yeah,
you make that a feature in your store, and especially going into next year, going into a football season, they're gonna be selling that stuff like crazy.
Yeah,
and so I think these brands realize, hey, we need to be market specific. It doesn't need to be cookie cutter, and we need to make it a more enjoyable experience for the customer. The demand is there. They're going to spend the money. They're going to come in and shop the store. There's excitement that the Walmart is now 6 minutes away from the house instead of 16 minutes away from the house. And maybe you went once a week before. Now you're going 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah. No, so that's how all the money got into shitty metal buildings. The first part of it was institutional capital's back, and I was like, okay, so they've been over here on our sideline. Now, y'all go back over there.
I'll go back over there. That's right.
So, but that's good though. I mean, I don't know. It is funny how everybody says retail was going to die. Is the Amazon effect and all these things. Everybody thought
100%.
they were never going to leave their house. It's funny is before all that happened, before COVID, everybody thought that was going to happen, and then everybody got stuck at their house. They're like, I'm so sick of being at my house.
Right.
So I think it maybe had the reverse effect. Just eventually you got so much of it, you're like, I don't want any more of this.
Totally.
Yeah.
We still continue to see e-commerce stores opening up physical retail.
Yeah.
That should be part of a retailer's ecosystem. Is online sales are driving in-store sales and vice versa. And if I order something online and it doesn't fit, I don't want to put it back in a box and go to the UPS store and drop it off. And although that's convenient, it's still a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Versus I can just walk into Dick's with my product that I ordered and my receipt and go, hey, I just want to exchange this for a medium instead of a large. Yeah, sure. Go grab one and come right up. Boom. Right. That's the ecosystem. And those two things work in tandem. It makes a brand that much stronger than just having one or the other as a silo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's no doubt that, in my mind, physical retail is just continuing to evolve and get better and better as time goes on. And the brands that are sharp and are innovating and are looking forward, those are the ones that are going to survive and thrive.
Yeah.
And those that don't are going to get left behind. And you look back at some of the brands that have closed over the years and have gone bankrupt, and Sears or whatever. Well, those were old, tired brands that didn't make changes. They didn't keep up. They rested on what they were doing, and then were surprised when folks had kind of passed them by.
Yeah.
I think one thing we learned a little bit while we were out there too was like indoor entertainment. Like, we have a sponsor that's like his biggest focus right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, he was just explaining to us, like, grandma brings daughter and or granddaughter, and they're having an experience together.
Totally.
Like, that's
so what was really interesting about what he was talking about was this. It was he has a concept called Slick City, which is a slide concept, right? Indoor slide concept. Maybe
There's one open in Denton.
Yeah. And so what he was talking about was that, like, the jump zones, the sky zones, and all that stuff. The older folks take a kid,
Right.
and they don't get on the trampoline.
No.
But the older folks can get on these slides. So they're actually capturing more of the people that actually show up instead of capturing 50% of the people that walk through the doors.
Yeah.
One person's just a chaperone,
Right.
so they don't pay, but now you're capturing
Interesting.
both of them. And
Yeah.
so he was talking about what it does for the revenue for that company is really interesting. And we're in 2 of them right now. And You know, it's but
are we taking a field trip to Denton? I feel like
we can.
We can. One just opened up off of 75 and Forest too.
There you go. We need to go slide on some slides.
There's one in Frisco.
Our older selves. Would you go to the jump park? Would you jump?
In a trampoline park?
When the kids were little, I did.
Yeah.
Now that they're older, they don't even want me jumping with them.
Right.
But back when they were younger, you did it as part of the experience. But yeah, I totally get the point of, nowadays it's like I drop them off at Sky Zone and I go take phone calls out in front of the Sky Zone and then I pick them back up when they're ready.
Yeah. 100%.
And the big thing now, a lot of those groups are offering monthly subscriptions. Right. So, hey, for $30 a month, you can come in as many times as you want. Now, Sky Zone still has my credit card that they bill every month, and we haven't been in 6 months, so we need to fix that. But but now all of a sudden it makes sense because you're during the school year you're slow Monday to Thursday, until maybe school is out and folks show up at 3:30. But if you're on that automatic bill, it's like the car washes. Hey, let's get you on the automatic subscription. Private equity loves that. You've got
the
cash.
recurring revenue model.
Recurring revenue model is key.
If you need any help with that, you need to talk to Tammany because every time I turn on TV and I want to go to like Netflix or something, she canceled it. I'm like,
wow.
She's like, I just do this to make sure y'all are using it. I'm like, golly. I'm like,
I do the same thing in my house too.
Well, she did it. She did it on Paramount, and I was like, you can't get rid of Paramount. It has all the UFC fights. So we get in this argument about once a month because she just will go. She's listening to Dave Ramsey all day and just like canceling subscriptions.
I love that.
Yeah,
I think maybe even the easier way to do it. I thought about this the other day. I need to just cancel my credit card and get a new number.
Yeah,
and all of those companies have to reach back out to you. To
see who calls.
Yeah. And it's like, no, we're not doing that one. They're not doing that one.
I've done that before.
Yeah,
it works.
I think that's the easiest way to do it. Just cancel the
Maybe
credit
that's how you should do email too. I'm deleting all my emails. If it's really important, just send it again.
That's your strategy. Call me. He'll call me if he really needs me.
Oh, that's his thing. He's like, if you really need me right now, come to my office or shoot me a text or call me like a bunch of times and I'll be like, okay, fine.
Hey, Claude, you can just tell it to go back and read your emails and tell you the important ones.
Yeah.
You can also tell it, hey, look at my calendar for next week. What are my meetings coming up? What do I need to be ready for? And it's out there.
Is that through Cowork?
No, it's just the add-on through your Outlook. Yeah.
Interesting.
Tell it to manage that. You'll be A-okay.
Nice. The machines.
Well, good. So you're going. What's the plan now? Are you going to continue? Are you still thinking we go Texas ICSC, Vegas ICSC? Would you?
I think we're going to all of them.
You're going to all of them.
I think we're going to go to Orlando,
nice,
and New York.
Now you have never been to New York, correct?
No.
So it's a great show. It is outside of Vegas. It's the largest attendance. It's very similar to I cut Vegas in half. Let's call it. And there's New York ICSC.
So I think the other takeaway for me on ICSC this year was I told my executive assistant, I said, I'm going to start just dumping stuff in teams to you.
Okay.
There's nothing to do with it. Just create a list. Okay. And it was like, I met with this guy about this opportunity. I met with this guy about this opportunity. Because there's so many of them going on. Now it's like, her and I have a meeting this afternoon to completely dump down on all those.
I like it.
And make sure I at least try to execute on all of them, right?
Sure. That's a great point.
So, because you can there's just so much going on and you have so many to just like bump into conversations. So I wasn't like trying to like create an agenda from there. I was just dumping names. Right. Here's the name, here's the company, here's the opportunity. Here's the name, company, opportunity. It just, and I think there's probably 25 legitimate action items out of that.
Follow-ups. So, that's great. So you're going full bore. You're doing the.
I think we have to do the full lap.
Okay.
At least once.
That's a good point. I like it.
You
figure
did
out what makes sense and what doesn't in the future.
I like it just from the in-person aspect, man.
Right.
Like I got to meet. He interacts with a lot of people on this side.
Sure.
I got to meet a lot of people that we've done multiple deals with that I've never really interacted with. Yeah. And so I'm like, man, I just really want to be in front of these people. I like meeting new sponsors. I like finding out new ways to make money with them. Like one big pitch we were talking to a lot of guys right now is like we're getting further along in like residential development that we're doing that we don't really tell anyone about right now, but we can do it. Sure. And so, a big pitch to developers, hey, look, we want to do your single pad deals. But if you ever find like a 200-acre takedown site and you want us to do the back, we'll do the back and we'll help you capitalize the front, you know.
Totally.
And so I think, you know, that might be an angle for us to look at to find those kind of opportunities to help guys capitalize and solve those problems that, you know, they're like, golly, I got to get rid of this back. And no, we want it, you know, and so help solve that. And so I think that was something that came out of it. But I think really just what I really want to do this time is execute on whether it's either just following up with someone, send them an email saying, hey, it's great meeting you, you know. You know, something else really fascinating, you know, to the point we met a competitor of ours, a lot larger scale, but super cool dude. And it was great to kind of swap notes on underwriting and stuff like that. He gave, you know, I mean, literally, we called him up on one deal after that. We're like, hey, what about this? He's like, no, hard pass. I was like, cool. All right, we're out.
Don't need to know anymore.
Yeah. You know, you wouldn't do this? No. Okay, cool. We won't do it either, you know. So, but, you know, part of that is like, you know, we'll go to ICSC New York, and that guy's in New York. So I'm sure we will hook up with that guy again and spend more time. And, you know, there's, you know, I have an opportunity on a deal in Atlanta that's on a 300,000-foot building that, like, I just don't think we can fund it right now. And he's like, yeah, let's talk about it. We'll work on it together, you know. So there's just so many things that I think, you know, that I'm going to really just try to take away from there and actually try to see through to a point, you know. So that's part of my takeaway from it. So.
I think the in-person element has become even more vital post-COVID when we went strictly digital, and the Zooms and the Teams, obviously it's still a huge part of what we do day in and day out. But nothing replaces that human interaction of face-to-face, whether it's on the floor or sitting at the sports book at the Wynn, whatever it is, having that relationship creation, it can't be duplicated on a screen. It doesn't work, right? If we're hanging out together, maybe it's at a happy hour and we get to know each other and we're spending some time, or at a dinner, you know, with somebody that you weren't planning to spend time with, and you end up sitting next to them and you create that relationship. That can't be done on a screen. And I think that's the point of events like this, whether it's ICSC or anything else for that matter. It's being one-on-one with time, and creating a human dynamic that all of us have innately in us that we want to continue to grow. And so I think it's part of what makes it so special.
Yeah, that's how I prefer to do business, man. Yeah. I lose attention in emails. I lose attention in Teams. I mean, it's you know, but like the conversations had can just kind of continue to grow that are in person. So that's what I love about that aspect of it. I still go back to saying industrial can never do this. It just it doesn't have the depth to do it. So
let's talk about some extracurriculars. What did you guys do for dinners?
What did we do Monday night for dinner?
I got the hook up in Vegas.
Oh yeah, we went to dinner with our Slick City developer. We took him out, but
yeah, I had a hard. I just frankly kind of got behind the 8 ball Monday night, and we were gonna go to Las Vegas out in Summerlin, which is like a suburb of Vegas. Totally. It's like, I would say, like, it's like the Frisco. It's a Frisco. 100%. And we've seen some deals out there, and we really love it. And I was like, okay, let's just go out there to go to some really nice Italian restaurant. But my boy Joe Bonifato called in a hookup for me at Ferraro's.
Nice.
And he's friends with the family.
It's cool. It was like a Italian restaurant in a strip mall.
Okay.
It was unbelievable.
But what was great about it, I felt like the Uber driver was like, "Oh, y'all are going there? You ever been there?" I was like, "No." He goes, "Oh, it's fantastic. It was great." Yeah. So it was
awesome.
You know, I felt a little nervous going off strip. I was like, "Oh no, I hope this is good." You know, and it was phenomenal. Yeah. So that was good. That was a good hookup. So we went out with our developer that night. He's a great guy. Man, we all think very the same, and so that was a really good time. And then Tuesday night we divided and conquered. I went to dinner with Accelerated Velocity Retail guys. Yeah, they're a partner of ours, and then he went. I went in with
Sands, and they were just like, it was a whole smorgasbord of just people in there.
Yeah.
So private room at Zuma.
Okay.
Food was good.
Yeah.
The experience was awesome.
Right.
Like you're going to those dinners to like just hang out, create memories.
Yeah.
I think like the food's a little bit of the byproduct.
Sure.
But it was good.
We went to Joe Stone's Crab.
Okay.
You know what's interesting about that? It was like, I was like, is this the one out of Miami? It's the same.
Yeah.
But it's a different operator.
Okay.
Because I was looking at the menu, and the menu has all this Miami stuff on it. And then it says like Vegas, Chicago, Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And I asked the waiter, I go, hey, man, like, where's the Miami location?
Right.
So I think what he said was the Miami location is still originally owned by the family. The guy that owns this location was a really good friend of theirs, and they allowed him to open up some stores. So
Yeah.
What's crazy is I've never been to the Joe Stone Crab in Miami. I'm
Really?
going to Miami in a week.
You're
so I'm
Mr.
like,
Miami.
I know.
Dude,
right?
talking about.
I honestly, I went with Emily when we went 2 years ago. Nah,
Meh?
nah,
Kind of meh?
nah.
Well, this was pretty damn good the other night.
I was
so
going to say,
I was
it's
crushing
pretty
it.
hard to beat.
It was funny. I was there. And
In
then
Miami, it's a scene. It's part of the experience. and the whole
Honestly,
thing.
I just like it. Just was kind of underwhelming when I was there. I was there at 7 o'clock, like kind of prime time on a Thursday.
Yeah.
It was also summertime though. Maybe that was it. I don't know. I just felt tchotchke.
So, well, it's Miami. South Beach.
No, but like prime 112
Yeah.
doesn't feel tchotchke.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just like
It was funny though, at my dinner, I ended up sitting right next to two dudes from Brinker who are live and prosper. It's funny. Every time I go to the accelerated dinner, someone is there in real estate from Prosper. I'm like, this is so odd that I'm in Vegas hanging out with Prosper people randomly.
Yeah.
what'd you do?
Well, so first night, excuse me, we go into Carver Steak at Resorts World. Just no reservations. We roll up. It was supposed to be 2 of us. Ends up 6 of us. Walk up to the hostess desk. I'm like, hey, any way you can fit in, 6 guys? And she's like hammering away. She's like, I don't know. And I put a $100 bill on the table. She's like, yep. Turns it up. We got a table. We just had a cancellation. Come on back. And,
Oh hell yeah!
so in we roll. We had a great dinner. It's fantastic. And then funny that the second night we went to Poppy's Steakhouse at Fountain Blue. And you have seen the videos of Poppy. I didn't know what it was going into it. They're the ones that come out with the gold briefcase with
sick.
with the bone in, the tomahawk, and then they brand it right there. And so we walk in, beautiful restaurant, great little bar. We come in, everybody gets a drink, and we have a seat at the table. And I don't know what's coming. And all of a sudden the lights go down and the music cranks up. There's a DJ sitting behind me. And I guess you can request your song for the walkout. And all the wait
For
staff.
the walkout of your steak.
100%. All the wait staff comes out with the flashlights, and they're going on. They've got the big board, like when you've got bottle service at one of the bars, and you tell them what you want to put on there. During our dinner, I'm not exaggerating, there must have been 12 to 15 of those walkouts at $1,000 a steak.
What was your walkout music?
We did not do a walkout. I assure you. That is not my deal.
$1,000.
$1,000 for the tomahawk, and it's all part of the show. Now the food was really good. I loved the build out of the restaurant. That was a little much.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's perfect for Vegas. Like I get it. I totally understand the shtick. Not my deal, but I get it. And so as we're wrapping up dinner, that was quite the topic of conversation, because you can't help but watch when this is going on. I mean, like you're sitting there having a great we had Tristan from Moxie's was there, Zach was there from T-Mobile, and so anyways, we're having a great dinner. All of a sudden that happens. It's like watching a train wreck. Like you have to see what's happening at that table over there. And they're coming out with and so before we left, something was happening. It changed. I'm like, what is going on? What they bring out a whole cart, and it's got a king crab that's got to be the size of it's 1.5 yards across.
Oh
It's
my
this
God.
big, and it's hanging there with 2 tomahawks off to the side. I don't even know what that package cost, but they come out, and I mean, everybody in the restaurant's over there doing their flashlights and the whole thing, and it's like, I don't know if I'm down to do this again. But,
A little much,
but the food was fantastic. And if that's your scene, I get it. That's a strong go-to. But it's very much look at me.
Yeah.
They had one table that ordered 2 of those $1,000 tomahawks, and you could tell they told them to space them out, so they had 2 of those.
Oh, two
So,
walkouts.
2 walkouts. So they did the walkout, and then 5 minutes later, the spotlight comes on that table again, and it's walkout 2. I'm like, that's a little much for me, but God bless you. But $2,000, at least that tab was $2,000.
Yeah,
I don't know what else.
Good
they
night
had.
for that waiter.
Good night
Waitress.
for that waiter.
So
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, good stuff, boys.
yeah.
It's great seeing you guys. I'm glad
Yeah.
everybody made it back in one piece.
That That just further solidified our love for this space that we're in, and
that's awesome.
So we're I don't know. It's cool just to get outside and like talk to other people. It kind of just expands your mind. These kind of events like expand my mind a little bit,
Totally.
like versus, we're very head down in here all day long, and they give you that kind of room to breathe, and so that's what I enjoy about these things too. So
yeah,
it made me realize how bad the weather is in DFW.
yeah.
Just on an overall, I mean, well, are
you just angry?
The inverse of there, it wasn't August where it's like blazing, but like my allergies cleared up immediately.
Yeah.
And, and I got, all the weather changes that were here, that screws with Tammany a lot. She was like down for the count the whole time I was gone. I was like, damn, we're so going to have to live somewhere else this time of year when the kids leave. Cause
that weather was special. I've been out there when it's 108 degrees.
It was awesome.
It was fantastic.
Unbelievable.
We tried to eat outside every chance we could.
100%.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Next time, I think last year we said this year let's go early.
Yeah.
But we didn't. Well, I mean we did, but like I think we were thinking, let's like roll in Friday night or like Saturday and do the weekend and blah blah. I think for sure like next year I'd like to play golf.
Yep.
Anchor at the Win or Encore.
Yeah.
And be much more intentional about probably expanding the conversations or expanding the relationship.
Sure.
Around experiences.
Totally.
Because you can create you can curate an unbelievable experience, resume there.
I think at some point too, I think it'd be cool for us to host like a little happy hour or something like that once we get to, I think like a mass where I know we could get people to show up because there are so many events, but I don't know. That'd be that's a couple years down the road, I think, but that'd be kind of cool to
Yeah.
So we did ours Tuesday at the booth instead of doing a big party. They're like, hey, you guys take your clients out, go enjoy a dinner. We're just going to do a happy hour at the booth, and that makes it easy. Everybody wants a drink before they walk out of that show.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to drink.
Yeah.
And so that's your stop off point is so we had a lot of folks that, hey, walk by, come in, grab a beer, hang out for a few minutes, and then, head on out of here.
That's kind of good, though. You probably capture more people because
if
they leave the show, then they have to go to this other destination for you.
That's right.
So
I would market it as like we have chairs, water, and booze.
Yeah.
So you can sit before you leave.
That's right.
Those are
the biggest thing is there's nowhere to sit unless you go out into the common area, and that's all packed out. And then like we've tried to like poach people's chair, and they come over. Hey, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like the bigger ones are like, oh, what? We thought this was like common area.
This is it's such a high commodity. It's like if you're like because you guys, I remember last year we rolled up to your booth and like they are super tight.
We're like, we're here to see Rob, and we just got a Coke and sat down.
We were like, we just needed 5 moments. Yeah. But they're allocating like the ROI on who's in here right now, what's going on.
100%.
We just spent
every badge
$1 million on this booth or whatever. Right. So like, no, I think that's genius. Like,
Did you go back on Wednesday?
I did. So my first meeting, I was on the floor at 8:30. My first meeting was at 9:30. And so I got there early, get a cup of coffee, and I walked into our booth, and it was a ghost town. And I thought, like, is today going to be dead? Well, I think it was just, I was there early. Like by 9 o'clock, it really started rolling. So much so I was impressed by how busy it actually was because I knew so many folks that were flying out or just weren't going to the show, and they were going to leave on the 11 or 12, whatever it was. And so I was impressed by the activity in the booth and on the floor on Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
I left at 11:30 and got out of there. But I thought, candidly, I just thought it was going to be a ghost town all day, and it was active. There was a lot of activity there. So
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Maybe we drag it out then.
I think it's definitely. I don't want to get in late again like that. I want to like get there and settle in, and So yeah, I could go for a longer trip. I'm glad we went early. I think we can even go earlier this time, and so
I would say the second day, Wednesday, was probably 50% capacity compared to Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's pretty good because Tuesday was nuts.
Yeah. But that's what the point was, is even at 50%, it's still impressive.
Yeah.
That's still a lot of people walking around talking about real estate.
Yeah.
When
100%.
we got there on Tuesday, did you get dropped off at South Hall?
No, I got right in front of Central.
They dropped us off at the West. So we had to
well, I didn't
walk.
know where to go. He goes, "Where do you want me to drop you off?" I go, "I don't know, wherever, just somewhere." So,
Yeah, so we had to walk, but it was great because I guess last year we all had to take buses.
Yeah.
yeah, but
Just jump in with me in Osif next year. I got you.
yeah.
Yeah,
We'll do the pickup
He
at the
picked me up
Encore.
at the at Caesars.
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
was-
he's
that
like, I
was
was
the
like, "Where you
hookup.
at?" He goes, "I'm dropping someone off at Caesars." Like, I'm literally walking out right now. He
Yeah.
picked me up. So.
and Jeremy called me too. She's like, "We're over here." I'm like, "Where do you? How are you getting there?" Rob's got a guy. It's like, all right.
Yeah. So
I love it. Awesome.
cool, man.
Thanks, boys.
Yep,
That was fun.
Absolutely. Till next time.